Hello, dear Secrets Behind the Stars family. Welcome back to your home for heartfelt stories and honest conversations about the people we follow, admire, and sometimes feel we know. Today, we're not here to bask in red carpet glamour or swoon over fresh romances. Today, life's script has surprised us with a chapter written in grief, reminding us that beneath the spotlight are fragile hearts trying to breathe through the heaviness of loss. Before we begin, a gentle request. Make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars, turn on notifications so you won't miss our next story, and if you appreciate the care we put into every word, consider joining our members circle by tapping the join button. Your presence is the reason Secrets Behind the Stars keeps going. Now take a slow breath, because what we're about to share about Cemre Arda and the quiet, unwavering support of Gawkberg Yilderum will go straight to the core. The Turkish entertainment world woke under a cloud that dimmed even the brightest names. News no one ever wants to face arrived without warning. Cemre Arda, whose energy and luminous smile have warmed so many hearts, was hit by a devastating loss within her family. It came like a sudden storm rolling in on a clear day. One moment she was immersed in busy sets and humming production halls, the next, everything stopped. The daily rush of scripts, fittings, rehearsals, and meetings fell away. The cameras went silent. The makeup brushes rested in their cups. There was no wardrobe to choose, no mark to hit, only the heavy stillness left by absence. Those closest to her say the moment the news reached her, Cemre, shattered yet composed in a way only someone who has had to be strong for others can be, made a single choice: family first. She cancelled every commitment without hesitation. Producers, networks, and managers heard the same message from her team. She needed time and space, and nothing else mattered. What followed was a modest funeral ceremony, carefully guarded from curious eyes, far away from the flash of paparazzi and the chatter of social feeds. No stage, no applause, only soft prayers carried on the wind. She arrived in black, garments simple and stark, as if the fabric itself swallowed the surrounding light. Those who caught a respectful glimpse from a distance could see the fight etched on her face. The struggle to steady a trembling breath, the effort not to topple under the weight of sorrow. The woman millions have seen radiating warmth seemed smaller in that moment, surrounded by family whose own hearts were breaking. And then there was him. Not because of a headline. Not because of an invitation list or a timeline. But because love, in its most genuine form, shows up and stands firm. Gökberk Yilderum was there, not as a famous actor fulfilling a social expectation, but as a partner refusing to let Cemre face the darkness alone. Throughout the ceremony, he remained near, never imposing, never drawing attention, simply present like a sheltering tree in the rain. He leaned in to whisper things only she needed to hear. He rested a hand on her shoulder, and in that small touch he gave her a harbor. When tears threatened to spill, he steadied her. When silence seemed to ring, he filled it with quiet reassurance. In a world where surfaces often shine brighter than substance, that silence spoke a language we all recognized deep down. Let us pause for a moment, dear Secrets Behind the Stars audience. Have you ever had someone stand beside you the way Gökberk stood by Cemre, when your world felt like it was slipping out from under your feet? Do you remember the weight that lifted when a hand found yours without asking for anything in return? Tell us about it in the comments. Your stories matter here, and they help someone else feel less alone. If you value the care with which we share this news, please like and share this video so our family can continue to grow. After the ceremony, his protective presence didn't fade with the closing of the gates. Witnesses say he walked with her to the exit, shielding her from the background hum of whispers, the pinprick stares, the unexpected flash that sometimes finds a way through even the best efforts at privacy. He stayed attuned to the small details: who would drive, where she would sit, how to give her the space to cry and also the safety to breathe. Industry chatter had long hinted that Cemre had been moving at a merciless pace these last weeks. The loss forced a reckoning. Priorities reshaped in an instant. Those close confirm she requested an open-ended leave from her projects. She chose distance from studios, from crowded sets, from the rhythm of a city that always runs. She stepped away to a quiet place outside Istanbul, nearer to family, where phones go silent and time feels slower. As for him, his silence has been a masterclass in grace. No statements, no quotes, no carefully crafted captions. Just action, and then retreat. In an era where every gesture risks becoming content, the absence of performance matters. People noticed. Feeds across the country filled with messages praising his restraint, his loyalty, his refusal to turn intimacy into display. Words like steadfast, admirable, and rare seemed to rise again and again. The consensus was clear: beyond the screen charm and the polished interviews, there is a man who knows what devotion means when it counts most. Meanwhile, those within her inner circle say Cemre has chosen intentional quiet. After the burial, she pulled the world in close, answering only her family and a tight ring of friends. Even the calls from colleagues who adore her have sometimes gone unanswered, not for lack of gratitude, but because grief has its own calendar, and it doesn't consult the clock. Yet one thread has remained constant. Whether through gentle check-ins or late-night calls, whether in person or through a phone that lights up only for one name, Gökberk has kept reminding her that she isn't walking this road alone. For fans who have followed their story with hopeful eyes, the outpouring of support has been moving. People have organized prayer circles and messages of encouragement, sending thousands of notes that, piece by piece, try to shoulder a fraction of her pain. There's no cure for this kind of ache, everyone understands that, but there is a balm in knowing that an entire community is holding you in their thoughts. Producers and networks, often relentless in their schedules, have stepped back with compassion. No deadlines, no pressure, only patience. The only goal now is Cemre's well-being and her sense of peace. The image that will remain stamped on the public memory is simple and unforgettable. Cemre Arda, head lowered under the weight of a goodbye she never wanted to say, and beside her, Gawkberg Yilderum, present and unmovable, the embodiment of love that doesn't need to announce itself to be undeniably real. For all the headlines that come and go, for all the gossip that flares up and then fades, moments like this remind us why we follow these lives at all. Not for perfection, not for fantasy, but for the glimpses of humanity that echo our own. In the days since, sources describe a routine that is more about healing than doing. Mornings are quiet. Screens stay dark. Meals are simple, conversations gentler. When she cries, she isn't hurried. When she laughs, however softly, the sound is protected. Some nights she sleeps, some she doesn't. Grief shows up in surprising ways, and there is room for it all. The roles they play on set are nowhere to be seen, the only roles here are daughter, partner, friend. This is the work that never gets credited, the work that deserves our respect the most. There is a certain dignity in the way Cemre is choosing to move through this time. Not shutting everything out, but letting the world in only as much as she can bear. Sending a thank you when she has the strength, saying nothing when she doesn't. People who love her say that the quiet has softened things just enough for the hardest moments to pass without breaking her. And when the memories become too heavy, they say Gökberk knows when to speak and when not to, when to bring tea, when to suggest a walk, when to stay close on the couch while the world remains outside the door. Once in a while, a discreet car arrives with a family member who needed a longer embrace, or a friend who came with a small box of pastries because sweetness helps, even if only a little. Those visits don't last long. They linger at the threshold, offer a story, wipe a tear, hold a hand, then leave her to rest. There are no group photos, no lingering small talk about the industry. Just love, compressed into moments that glow like embers in a winter night. It would be easy for the narrative to shift toward future plans, to speculate about comeback dates or memorizing lines again. But those close to them say the word return has no deadline attached. There will be a day when she feels ready to face the lights, to carry characters who are not her through scenes that demand tears and courage and charisma. When that day arrives, it will be on her terms, with time having taught her new depths. And if you know anything about Cemre Arda, you know she will bring that depth with grace. Until then, the world can wait. For fans wondering how to help, the answer is simple and profound: kindness. Keep sending messages that don't demand answers. Keep remembering that public people are still private souls. Let this be a season where we prove that compassion doesn't need an audience to be real. And let us remember what we saw at that cemetery: two people facing something impossible together, a love story told in whispers and steady hands rather than declarations. From all of us here at Secrets Behind the Stars, our hearts are with Cemre Arda and her family in this period of mourning, and our respect goes to Gawkberg Yilderum for showing what real partnership looks like when life turns cold. Thank you, both, for reminding us that at the end of the day, empathy is the only headline that matters. Tell us, who would you like to see featured in our next story? Whose journey should we look into with the same care and honesty? Your ideas guide what we create. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars, tap the bell so you won't miss our next video, and if you'd like to support us directly, consider becoming a member by clicking join. Take care of your heart, hold your loved ones closer tonight, and remember that even after the hardest nights, a quiet morning always comes. We'll be here when you're ready to meet us again. Until next time, from all of us at Secrets Behind the Stars, stay gentle with yourselves and with each other.